Welcome to Beneath the Bible, where we're helping you dig deeper and uncover the world beneath the sacred book. The ancient world is so far removed from our own understanding that it can be hard to understand what's going on when we read the biblical text. We have to span not only the chronological, but especially the cultural gap if we're going to fully comprehend the text. In this series, we're looking at cultural customs from the ancient world and how they are at work behind different biblical passages. Knowing the cultural world of the Bible is one of many tools to help us see the text as it may have originally been understood. In today's video, we're going to look at the superstition of the evil eye. In Matthew 6, 22 and 23, and its parallel passage, Luke 11, 34 to 36, Jesus offers a teaching that can be very confusing to the modern reader. From verse 22, "The eye is the lamp of the body. So if your eye is healthy, your whole body will be full of light. But if your eye is unhealthy, your whole body will be full of darkness. If then the light in you is darkness, how great is that darkness?" There is an ancient belief system that undergirds this teaching from Jesus. He says that the eye is the lamp of the body as if light comes out of our eyes. Now, he also talks about the eye being either healthy or unhealthy, and that the health of the eye indicates the quality of light or darkness within us. What's Jesus talking about here? Well, there are a number of ways we could interpret this passage today, but our interpretation will be helped by understanding the ancient belief that undergirds Jesus' words. The evil eye.
The evil eye is one dimension of what is most accurately called the evil eye belief complex. This belief is rooted in the idea that some people have the ability to cast a curse or bring destruction on a person or object simply by looking at it. Belief in the evil eye is widespread both geographically and chronologically. It spans from the Mediterranean basin, across the Middle East and Central Asia, and into China. It is attested as far back as the Sumerians in the 4th millennium BC, and evil eye amulets are still mainstays at markets, restaurants, and many other places around the world today. The evil eye belief complex has 7 core features. First is the idea that power emanates from the eye or mouth. In this case, we'll focus on the eye. Second, that the eye or mouth can focus on a person or object, and that this person or object has value and suddenly comes to its demise. Third, the one who casts the evil eye, sometimes called a fascinator, may not always know they have this power. Fourth, the fascinator may not know how they cast the evil eye. Fifth, the effects of the evil eye can be mitigated or deflected by certain objects or rituals. Sixth, this belief helps to explain all kinds of misfortune people experience over the course of their lives. And finally, to some extent, envy is involved in casting the evil eye.
In the evil eye belief system, any being with eyes could possibly have the ability to cast the evil eye. A person or god or demon or animal. Sometimes these people could be recognized by some kind of special feature of the eye, like a deformity, deep-set eyes, crossed eyes, eyes of different colors, or even excessive blinking. In various cultures, different peculiarities around the eye are indicators that someone may have the evil eye. Other times, the ability to cast the evil eye is connected to a person's social location. Foreigners, the socially displaced, like widows, or those with a physical disability. Now, as you can tell, casting the evil eye was generally considered a bad thing and was associated with physical or social differences. It threatened social cohesion in the community, as it often attacked successes and good things meant to be celebrated. The evil eye could be cast on anything, but certain people and occasions were more susceptible to being injured by the evil eye. Some people were believed to be more susceptible to the evil eye than others, especially pregnant women, children, successful people, people with high reputations, and beautiful people. Susceptibility to the evil eye was also tied to certain events or occasions, including births, marriages, encountering strangers, times of feasting, building a new house, selling merchandise, receiving public praise and admiration, and harvest time. Even going to the bathroom was thought to be a particularly dangerous time for having the evil eye cast on you. The evil eye could cause all kinds of afflictions: illness, injury, defeat in battle, animals going lame, withering of limbs, crops drying up, children dying, a mother's milk drying up, or anything that attacks the success and livelihood of another person. However, an evil eye affliction is identified best by its target rather than by the kind of affliction it causes. Now, this is because evil eye afflictions were thought to be caused by the greedy or miserly nature of the fascinator who cast the evil eye. When the fascinator sees someone who is more successful, more beautiful, or more youthful than they are, a sense of greed or anger can arise and cause the evil eye to injure the one who caused those feelings. A woman who has no children or who has lost children may cast the evil eye, knowingly or not, on a pregnant woman or a young baby. A merchant may cast the evil eye on a rival who has come into good fortune, and through the evil eye, cause their success to be destroyed.
This folk belief may sound superstitious or even magical, but that's not how it was understood in the ancient world. Today, we understand the eye as a passive organ, simply receiving light signals that are interpreted by the brain. This is, however, a relatively new way of understanding the eye. As the example from Matthew 6, 22 and 23 shows us, for most of human history, the eye was believed to be an active organ. This is called the extramission theory of vision. In this understanding, the eye did not receive light, but it cast energy or light from it. And that energy could cause damage. Just like the energy and light from the sun can cause damage, so too can the energy and light emitted from the eyes, particularly when focused on something with envious or otherwise bad intentions. Thus, Jesus says the eye is the lamp of the body and warns against the damage that could be caused by evil or envious eyes. This theory of vision was very widespread right up until the 17th century. Greek philosophers and writers from the 5th century articulate these kinds of theories of vision, likening the eye to a lamp and how it projects light. Plato, in his work Timaeus, describes how the gods fashioned men so his eyes give light. This was how the eyes were understood to work naturally, so the evil eye could cause harm as a purely natural phenomena. There was no magic or supernatural causation involved. This is simply how the eye was understood to work.
So, what could you do if you were at risk of being targeted by the evil eye? Now, solutions vary from culture to culture, but there is broad agreement that the individual at risk of an evil eye curse had some recourse. This started by taking precautions like avoiding eye contact, concealing valuables and people who are susceptible to the evil eye, and moderating ambition to avoid being the target of envy. There are also gestures like raising the middle finger or the mano fica, spitting, touching the genitals that are believed to ward off the evil eye.
There are also particular rituals, charms, and amulets that can help against the evil eye. Collectively, these are called apotropaics, from a Greek word meaning to drive off. These amulets in particular ward or drive off the evil eye and its ill effects. They tend to operate under the principle that like influences like, the idea being something that resembles something else can exert influence over it. In folk practices of many cultures, this sympathetic magic often shows up as the idea of yellow herbs can help jaundice, or red herbs or vegetables are good for the blood. With amulets, rather than the wearer having to make warding gestures, these amulets act as permanent gestures to ward off the evil eye as long as they are being worn. These amulets can take various forms, the shape of genitalia, eyes that tend to be blue, or the Egyptian Wajah eye or Eye of Horus. These exist even today. You may have seen this emoji on your phone, or hanging near the cash register at your favorite local Mediterranean restaurant. It's a Nazar or evil eye amulet. Another common modern amulet is the Hamsa, a stylized upside-down hand that can be understood as divine protection for those wearing the amulet, as though a divine protector was reaching their hand down from heaven. This symbol is variously called the Hand of God, or the Hand of Miriam, or the Hand of Fatima, depending on your tradition. Other more traditional protections include pouches of certain herbs or texts with words of power on them that can ward off the evil eye. Bells, iron earrings, jewelry with red or blue colorings, red and blue strings, often tied around a newborn's wrists, and even the crescent moon are all seen as protecting against the evil eye. The evil eye belief complex is incredibly old, and we know it was part of the world that produced the Bible. We have both artifacts and texts which attest to it. Sumerian texts and artifacts point to belief in the evil eye and a fairly well-developed understanding of it, which suggests that the evil eye belief complex predates civilization as we know it. At the site of Tel Barak in Syria, which dates to the 4th millennium BC, over 6,000 years ago, a structure was found with thousands of items which came to be called eye idols. I'm sure you can see why. These idols were found in the so-called Eye Temple, which is believed to be dedicated to Nihursag, the Sumerian goddess of childbirth. This makes sense because childbirth was something that could be easily attacked by the evil eye. There are literally hundreds of texts from Mesopotamia which discuss the evil eye. Many are written in Sumerian, though they date to a period after the time of the Sumerians. This inscription, for example, is originally in Sumerian but dates to the Old Babylonian period, which is around 1830 to 1530 BC. It describes the evil eye, what it may target, how it might affect those targets. Notably, at the beginning of the inscription, the evil eye is likened to a dragon, and as we've seen in another video, snakes and serpent-like creatures can also be associated with illness and dangers. You can check that video out here. In Syria, at the site of Arslan Tash, this inscription on a plaque would have been posted at a door. It instructs the evil eye to depart and to leave the occupants of the house alone. The occupants of the house understood this incantation to be strong enough to keep the evil eye and its damage away from their home. Archaeologists have also recovered various countermeasures against the evil eye from the ancient Near East. The most common example is the Wadjet eye amulet, which is found throughout the ancient Near East, particularly from the New Kingdom of Egypt and after. This symbol represented good health and protection from things like the evil eye. These amulets are widespread and come in numerous colors and sizes. From the Roman period, we find this amulet of a fist making the mano fico gesture. Widely considered a rude or impolite gesture, it is also associated with warding the evil eye. In addition to amulets, beads with eyes on them were used in jewelry to ward the evil eye. This bead is from Phoenicia in modern-day Lebanon and Syria. It dates between the 6th and 4th centuries BC. This is a single bead with sets of blue dots and black circles. These should be understood as eyes meant to ward off the evil eye. And this bead is by no means exceptional. Many other examples of these beads have been found in the Eastern Mediterranean and the Aegean. Another example of objects used to ward the evil eye is this series of cups from what is now Greece. These are roughly contemporary with the eye beads, dating to the 5th and 6th centuries. This is a specific kind of drinking vessel called a kylix. These cups were used to drink wine at special gatherings called symposia. These events were times of feasting and communal gathering, times when the evil eye may strike and when one is vulnerable to it. So to ward off the evil eye, sets of eyes were drawn on the bottom of the cup so that when it's tilted back, the drinker is protected. The evil eye belief is deeply rooted in Greek and later Roman culture. We have a series of letters from the Greco-Roman world that demonstrate how widespread and common this idea was. In these letters, the writer wishes the addressee health and protection from the evil eye for them and for their family. Close reading shows stock phrases and specific vocabulary even surrounding the evil eye belief.
We can see traces of the evil eye belief system all over the Bible because it was a widely held belief during the entire time when the Bible was written. Now, this doesn't mean that we have to adopt these evil eye beliefs in order to believe the truth of the Bible, but knowing how to recognize evil eye beliefs can help us better understand passages that could otherwise be very confusing. Understanding how these beliefs operated also adds a layer to the text that can help us know how to apply it to our lives. The belief that light and energy emanate from the eye is found not only in Jesus' words in Matthew 6:22 and 23, but in the Old Testament in verses such as Psalm 37:10, Proverbs 15:30, and Proverbs 29:13. Daniel 10:6 likens eyes to torches. There are numerous biblical connections between the eyes and the disposition of the heart. Proverbs 15:30 says, "Light in a messenger's eyes brings joy to the heart, and good news gives health to the bones." Proverbs 23:17 warns about envy arising in the heart, and 1 Samuel 18:8 and 9 imply that evil is conveyed through the eyes. With Saul keeping a close eye on David after David's success provokes Saul's anger. Deuteronomy 15:9 warns against the eye being evil toward a neighbor in need, causing a person to refuse to help or to remit debts. By contrast, a generous person is described as having a good eye in Proverbs 22:9. Proverbs 23:6-8 warns against associating with someone with the evil eye. It says, "Do not eat the bread of someone with an evil eye. Do not desire that person's delicacies. For that person is like one who reckons inwardly. Eat and drink, she says to you. But her or his heart is not with you. You will vomit up the little you have eaten and waste your pleasant words." These associations may be behind Jesus' teaching in Matthew 6:22 and 23. In the original Greek, the words Jesus uses to describe the two kinds of eyes are not healthy and unhealthy, but literally single and evil. For the eye to be single means to have a singular focus, probably on the kingdom of God, based on Jesus' other teachings in this passage, including Jesus' teaching to seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness. And you can see how the opposite disposition leads the eye to be evil, envious of the success of others, wishing to do harm rather than good, and leading to duplicity, in an attempt to deceive and undermine those it envies. Now, it's no coincidence that Jesus says right before these verses, "Where your treasure is, there your heart will be also." A number of biblical passages refer explicitly to casting the evil eye. You'll see some of them right here. Several biblical figures are said to have the evil eye. There was Cain in his envy of Abel's acceptable sacrifice. Abraham's wife Sarah is said to have the evil eye in her envy of Hagar bearing a child, and this evil eye is the reason Hagar flees with her son Ishmael. Joseph's brothers had the evil eye in envying his coat of many colors. King Saul, as we've said, envied David's success and looked on him with the evil eye. Even Queen Esther, in rabbinic tradition, a heroic figure, is said to have the evil eye and used it to save the Jews. Now, as we would expect by now, there are also a number of biblical references to warding off the evil eye. The evil eye is averted by amulets mentioned in several places. Isaiah 3:18-23 complains about such amulets, so their use was not universally accepted. There are, however, several kinds of apotropaics whose use was condoned to ward evil in general, including the evil eye. Phylacteries at prayer, blue fringe tassels on prayer shawls, and mezuzahs. Recognizing these evil eye references can be difficult. Modern translations often obscure these references with language and metaphors that are more accessible and understandable for modern readers. The replacement of single and evil in Matthew 6:22 with healthy and unhealthy is just one example of this tendency. And while this is generally helpful for modern readers so that you can read your Bible without watching a 20-minute video on the evil eye belief complex first, there's also value in digging underneath the modern text to uncover what's happening in the original language and culture. And that's exactly what we at Want Beneath the Bible to help you do. Thanks for joining us for this Beneath the Bible video. If you are interested in learning even more about this topic, we have included some references and resources in the description below. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more content like it, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out our website, beneaththebible.com. If you learned something new today, take a minute to share this video with a friend. And until next time, keep digging.